Folks, as you know, I've been creating videos for the better part of 8 years and forecasting housing for the better part of 5 years. But some people still don't understand that I am not a real estate agent. People think that anybody who talks housing and doesn't say crash is a realtor. No, folks, I'm just not Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer says stupid shit like 50% crash, bigger than '08, faster than '08, yada, yada, yada. And if you like Jerry Springer, I am not your boy. So let's see what people have to say.
All right, so we're gonna start this one off with your video, 50% housing crash in 2026 that you did with Jason Hartman, who's gonna be speaking at the ORAT event in February.
Yep.
But this individual says, look, it's salesmen who depend on people buying, suggesting now is the best time to buy. Keep these videos up so in Q3 of 2026, I can come clown you.
I have seen a version of that comment for 4 years now. And it's funny. None of them have been able to come clown me, but you're still broke. At the end of the day, this person watches Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer has not made him or her smarter. Jerry Springer has, gotten people to think that the GFC is a normal thing. Folks, if you zoom out, housing is not typically 20% down or whatever it was in the GFC over 4 years. Housing doesn't move like that. Price elasticity, things of that nature. But yeah, go ahead, buddy. Set the reminder and, odds are you will be just like all the other clowns who said I was going to be wrong and your Jerry Springer housing analyst was going to be right. They weren't right in 22. They weren't right in 23. They weren't right in 24. They weren't right in 25. And they likely won't be right in 2026. So you keep being broke and I'll keep being me.
I think people are very catching to this Jerry Springer tag that you're using. They're enjoying it. I think one of them, Melody Wright is one that has brought out a lot of comments on a lot of your videos. And like you said, it's probably your most monetized videos out there. But you reposted this on X. So this one was actually from 11 months ago, it looks like. So Melody is my favorite housing analyst. I've been waiting for 6 months impatiently for a good deal in Western North Carolina. Currently renting in Weaverville. The prices near Asheville are still way too high. Samaritan's Purse is a great place to donate. And then you said now 17 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, one of the things about never deleting your videos, which I don't do, is you can go back and get the comments. And I have comments, that one was easy to find. I have comments from, talking trash about Nick Reventure Consulting from 4 years ago. And they're all the same. They're all, oh, she's right, you're wrong, I'm waiting. And then, every once in a while, you got to put up receipts and say, you're still waiting. You're still waiting. And again, that's what Jerry Springer does. Again, folks, Jerry Springer. And if you don't know who he is, go do a YouTube search. It's all trash. It's trash TV. The audience wasn't better for it. The people on stage weren't better for it. The only person that got rich was Jerry freaking Springer. And the same thing is happening today. You have trash analysts producing trash content for a broke audience who wants to be entertained. If you want to be entertained, by all means, watch Jerry Springer. But you won't be better for it. You won't be richer for it. You will be just as broke. And you know what? You'll be a year older and a year older and a year older. It's okay. Hey, you want to watch trash TV? It's a free country. Go nuts. Stay broke.
And I think I've seen a lot of comments recently in a lot of these videos. People are trying to, recommend like, hey, don't let them get to you. You're taking it personal. But this individual, Truth Opinion, says, I told you, don't entertain Melody Wright on your show. She's had 2008 PTSD doomer. You cannot be open-minded to those who don't follow data.
Yeah. And I think I replied to that one, you're right. My bad. When I first, I think I've spoken to Melody Wright twice, maybe 3 times. I think it's twice, but maybe even 3. I originally went to Melody Wright because she had a unique view, one that I don't have. She still does. She has a set of experience I don't have. She has access to data I don't have. But I have to agree with that poster. She's got PTSD from the GFC. Everything's the GFC. Everything. And again, if you zoom out and study housing back to 1970, there are lots of other housing crashes and, stuff that's not the GFC. And, to that end, Melody Wright on my channel in 2024 said we were going to have a 5% crash. In early 2025, I had her on and I said, okay, let's talk about 2024 and your housing crash or down 5%. And she had the galls to say, oh, don't worry, it will be revised. I'll be right. Well, that didn't happen either. And then, of course, this year she talked about a 9% housing crash and we're up 2%. So again, folks, how many times are you going to give a Jerry Springer analyst access? And now she's talking 50% bigger than the GFC, faster than the GFC. I mean, come on, folks. If you don't realize she's Jerry Springer, I can't help you. I just can't help you. Yes, she's got good stories. And yes, she says fancy words, but she's wrong. She's been wrong multiple times in a row. And, now she's quoted in Newsweek. She's got so many other articles out there talking about 50% crash in 2026 and bigger and faster. And I'm like, my God, this is Jerry Springer level stuff. So I don't know, whatever. It was a mistake.
Yeah, you touched on, she's mentioned 50% crash, and this one was from your daily financial news. 53% off of homes lost value in 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was a comment by the Yoder 3311. They said, as a buy and hold investor, the price fluctuations does not affect us.
Yeah, again, that's what, again, a lot of the Jerry Springers don't realize. Even in, let's talk about Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas went up something like 75% in 3 years, and now it's down 25%, something like that, round numbers. And if you're a buy and hold investor and you bought something on the way up that cash flowed, do you really care that it fell? Yeah, absolutely not, right? The only people that care are the people that are forced to sell. This is the difference between residential and commercial, right? In commercial, if the debt comes due at the wrong time, you could really get hurt. And that happened to me in 2013. I had a note come due at the exact wrong time. Now I was able to negotiate and extend the period, but boy, that was stressful. That doesn't happen in residential. And oh, by the way, we're seeing record delistings and cancellations and things of that nature. We have more accidental landlords today, than years gone by. Why? Because it makes financial sense to keep it versus sell it. So again, the doomers are wrong. They've been wrong for, some doomers have been wrong for a decade. Others have been wrong for 3 or 4 years and are still wrong. But again, I want to go back. These guys are just Jerry Springer. Trash content, trash TV has always been a moneymaker. But the only people that get rich are the content creator. Melody Wright has the #1 and #2 videos on my channel. Both videos produced over $1,000 for me. My next biggest video is 400, just to show you the difference in money. She is a money printing machine. The only person to get rich is the content creator. And if you guys don't understand that, I can't help you.
You talk about making calls and leaving your videos up there. You have your swing and miss merchandise. But this one, you reposted on X. So Peter Bedford 2610 commented, my markets are flat and slow, but steady. Bruce Norris has been correct for the last 3 years. If rates don't come way down, we will have a decade of flat prices. And you replied, I agree, and have said 6 to 8 years of flat. But that is not sexy, like down 5%, down 9%, 50% in 2026.
Yeah, if you want to get in Newsweek or on CNBC, you have to say stupid shit. Because again, trash TV. I've been calling flat since Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole said there shall be pain. And rates doubled almost overnight. I told you guys this was coming. I also told you there was going to be a crash. It was in transactions, not price. But that's not sexy. And, I've called 1 or 2% appreciation the last several years, next year included, not sexy. That's not going to get you on TV. It's not going to get you in Newsweek. But you know what? A stupid call about bigger than 08, faster than 08, 50% crash, that'll get you in Newsweek. Why? Because they want to produce trash content and get broke people to, watch and consume, instead of saying do the work, first 5 years suck, 10 years to get wealthy. It's not sexy, but it's true. If you want to get the masses, tell them what they want to hear. The masses want to hear 50% crash. So that's what they produce. That is just trash TV. That is Jerry Springer 101. And if you're too dumb to realize it, I can't help you. You got to block Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer does not make you better. Jerry Springer does not make you rich. Jerry Springer says, watch me, I'm entertaining. Watch this crazy nonsense and, then go on with your day. It's a waste of time. Nobody's better for watching Jerry Springer.
And Peter Bedford mentions Bruce Norris. And for people that have followed you a long time, have probably heard you mention that name. So newer people may not know who that is. And I just realized, I remember someone posted a comment in school and they're asking about the Fred data and affordability index. So can you relate that to Bruce Norris?
Yeah. So Bruce Norris is, in my opinion, a hero. I gave him credit in my book, One Rental at a Time, for saving Olivia and I. So let's give you the full story. So we start buying houses in Fresno in 2001. By 2006, we had 8. I think it was 7 houses in a duplex. So we had 8 properties, 9 units, I think. And then I go to an event called California Crash, right? I'm somebody who has, $1 million net worth in California. You got my attention, California Crash. So I show up. I pay money. To go see this gentleman, Bruce Norris, speak. I didn't know who he was. I come to find out, the event's 8 hours and the guy goes through, 500 slides. He's very data driven. At the end of the day, the only thing that I took away from the event was this notion of something called the affordability index, which basically states, the less people that are able to afford, the bigger the bubble. And lo and behold, I go back, I research it. Cause again, I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. And I owned 8 houses and I still didn't know what it was. So I go back and research it. I agree it's a thing. Then I go research Fresno, California, which is where all my eggs are. And I realized that Fresno is the least affordable it has ever been, ever. And I go, holy shit, he's right. So in 2006, Olivia and I sell all of our houses. So again, this is what the doomers and Jerry Springers don't understand, is I am completely willing to sell everything if I think there's a bubble, like I did last time. And we moved all our equity into multifamily. The last unit closed, I think, in early 2007. So we did not experience any pain from the housing collapse. In fact, I always tell the story of Norris Drive so people can go look it up, right? It's 1818 Norris Drive East, 93703. Go look it up on Zillow. When you look at the transaction history, we bought it for 107. We sold it for 263. And then I tried to go buy it back at 75. It fell 70%. So again, I am completely willing to sell everything if I think a bubble is popping, unlike the doomers and Jerry Springers of the world. So I do that. And yeah, Bruce Norris is my hero. I've talked to him personally several times. I've spoken at events with him. I've paid to go to multiple sessions with him. I went to his event in Southern California. God, when was that? That was during the pandemic, probably 2023. And he and I had a private conversation about what we see coming. And we both agreed it was flat. This was not the California crash. This wasn't the boom. And he thought it would be a decade. I thought it would be 6 to 8 years. So, you've got 2 very experienced folks who've made calls and been right before saying, hey, at a minimum of 6 years and maybe it's long as 10. And never forget the 50-year spreadsheet tells us it could be 16. It took 16 years last time from 1978 to 1994. So again, we've got lots of data that says stuff's going to be flat. So yeah, I think Bruce Norris is a legend. He's getting up in age. He moved from LA or SoCal to Florida probably 8 years ago. Yeah, Bruce Norris is a legend. If you ever get to meet him, he's an amazing man.
I'm wondering, I know you always talk about having fixed rate debt and whatnot. So at that time, did you have fixed rate debt on all those 8 properties? So
Yeah,
even if there was a crash, if you ever looked back, you would have been fine, maybe.
I would have been. I'd be still working though. That's the key, right? The debt was always fixed. I didn't know any different. I thought 30 years, I just thought that's what it was. And no, we would have been. I'd still be working, right? That commitment to executing when you get new data is why I'm retired, right? When you look at my career, we took action, bought houses, we sold houses, bought apartments. We went ham during the GFC. We found a way to raise private capital. I then retired. Then I flipped 50 homes in the easiest time to ever do it. I've been making big moves in real estate, massive moves in real estate that most people just don't pick, right? I'm not a one-trick pony. I've taken massive action in lots of different areas. So yeah.
Oh, perfect. You just said that. So this one was from your video, 50% housing crash in 2026 with Jason Hartman. And Jeremy Ludwig comments, I had no idea you flipped houses. That's awesome. 55 homes in 2.5 years is amazing. I'm trying to learn the flipping strategy myself. That would be neat if you offered some guidance in your school community. Great video, thank you. It's an everyday battle trying to go against the doomsday crap.
Yeah, the doomers try to kill hope. Again, Jerry Springer is the only person that gets rich. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Like, some of my early content was all about my flips. Probably 10% of my first 1,000 videos were me walking properties and flipping stuff. We flipped everything from houses. I think the biggest thing we flipped was a 6-unit apartment building. And again, we used private capital. And, I did something called the 6 and 20. I paid 6% interest only and gave them 20% of the upside, which meant I had access to 3, 4, 5 million bucks. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that experience. And again, I know a lot of people still flip today, but I was only there when it was easy, right? Once it got hard and deals became skinny, I just don't need to work that hard. But if you're going to hand me, $1 million, which I think we made I think we grossed before taxes, like a 1.2 or I think it was 1.15 in profit I think it was 53 flips. I should go back and count, but 53 stands out to me. So about 20K a door, we made. So yeah, it was, when it was easy, it was easy. So.
So this one is from your recent video, why becoming an accidental landlord can make you rich.
Mm.
And this one was actually reposted on X by Eddie Tennyson, who's been a guest on your channel also before. But he says, this is great and worth a watch for homeowners and real estate investors. No, your 2% mortgage is not an asset, but it is the best liability you'll ever have.
Yeah, Eddie's a lot of fun. He's a great follow on X. He's absolutely right. I've often called the 2% mortgage an asset. In reality, it's just the best liability ever. It's really a testament to what Jason Hartman is coined, I think, trademark, the inflation-induced debt destruction. A 2% mortgage means you're borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars below inflation. And that's like cheating. It's just like cheating. So that's what Eddie's pointing to. And again, if you have a 2% mortgage, most of you, not everyone, because some houses are just too nice, too big in the wrong area. But for many of you, that's the best liability you have, and you should keep it. Right? If somebody's going to loan you money at 2% and inflation is 4%, borrow as much as you can. That's the answer to that.
All right, so this one is from your video with Cody Davis, 9 questions about getting rich. This individual comments, genuine question. Looking back, would you trade the job you had to make less, but spend more time with your daughter?
I saw that one. And I've been thinking about that one a lot. It's really a hard answer because 2 things can be true. 1, I'm in an amazing place in life and wouldn't trade what I have now for anything. 2, my largest regret in life was not spending more time with Teresa. So the answer is, I don't know, but if I'm really honest with myself, I don't think I would change a thing. I really don't. Because I now can do amazing things for her. Right? She lives in a property that, we own. And I couldn't have done that if we didn't have the financial assets and stroke to write that check. She graduated with 0 debt at a very expensive school. It is true. It's one of my biggest regrets. But if I step back and say, get a less demanding job, but we don't end up where we are, I don't think I make that trade. I think I would live with this regret and try to make up for it, the rest of my life. So, that's a very thoughtful question and probably the hardest question I've ever been asked. And so, yeah, I've been thinking about that one for a couple of days. So I think the answer is no, I wouldn't trade. I would suffer, because again, it really does bug me, but I don't think I would make that. I don't think I would change a thing. I really don't think I'd change a thing. So that's my answer today. Maybe I'll change my opinion later, but that's my answer today.
What do you think your daughter thinks or feel? Do you think?
Ooh, I've talked to her about this, and she's always been very kind and like, frankly, complimentary. Like, no, you were there. You were there for the important things, and I spoke to you on the phone, and she's always been very gracious. Um, I don't know. I'd have to ask her. I don't know.
Maybe we can set up an interview or discussion.
Maybe.
So this one was on your video. Why follow your passion is horrible advice. You had it with the three amigos. And before I read this comment, I guess you're caught off guard also that the Lumberjacks Bigger Pockets
Yeah,
episode
what's
was
up with
released.
that? I gave him a lot of grief offline. Yeah, that
All
was
right,
not
so
cool.
one of my favorites, Punakar, always with his great comments, but he
Yeah.
says, "Oh boy, this reminds me of the Indian parents talking to their kids into arranged marriages because they have better chances to find someone compatible and practical instead of following their heart. I'll leave a more constructive comment later, but for now, I'd like to point out that the last video I did on this channel with you was about why one should try to find and follow their passion with the understanding that one should monetize it, live below their means, and invest wisely. That's what I have lived by and is the advice I give both my teenage sons."
Again, Punakar is absolutely right. I love him. I wish I spent more time with him. He just thinks right. Unfortunately, he's the exception, right? And I think the important part of what he said, where most people get wrong, is they don't think about monetizing their passion, right? I think that's the twist, the pivot, the important part, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, at least my thinking is, when you follow your passion, you're a starving artist, right? And as he says, you've got to find a way to monetize that. And frankly, there's never been an easier time to monetize a passion with social media and online and all of that. So again, I think he's absolutely right. I think sometimes Punakar doesn't understand how much of a unicorn he is, right? How he is out there, by himself, right? He's often right, and always means well. But I don't, when you think about, just the average American raising kids and all of that, telling them to follow their passion, I think most people lean into the, starving artist arena. But, again, if you think like he does, you will be better off. If you can find a way to lean into your passion and think how to monetize, that's I do. I think that's absolutely the secret. I just don't think most people think that way.
I like how he mentioned though, but live below your means
Yeah, the
is
whole thing.
also part. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and he's a genius. If you could find your passion, lean in, live below your means, become elite, do it for a long time, continually evolve and create additional income streams. Absolutely right. Yeah, he's right again.
All right, so I think this will be our final one. Let's kind of clarify things. But this one is from your daily financial news: 53% off of homes lost value in 12 months. So Jeremy Kirkwood, I believe I saw him, he's new in school. He has a great short-term rental, midterm rentals where he was at. But he
Nice.
says 1,800 videos and getting better every day. Your process is becoming more and more polished every day, and it shows. Do you remember what you replied?
Yeah, I think I replied 18,000 videos, not 1,800. You're missing a zero. I 10x that. Yeah, it's there's still one thing I have to work on, and I've got people trying to help me now, and that's the audio. Sometimes this mic, I got to get a pop filter or something. It's something I have to add to the string. But yeah, it's the crazy thing is I still have so much fun. Every day is fun for me. 18,000 videos, and the community is amazing. I love what I do. The new friends I've made, the new friends I will make, the positive impact, leaning into my legacy 50 years after I'm dead and gone. That's why I do what I do. It's pretty amazing.
18,000. I can't even. That's crazy. That's a lot of videos. But maybe we can just confirm also. There is one last one about. I know we talked about Cody Davis. There is 20 spots also, right, for kids,
Yep.
teenagers at the event. How much are we left at? People are wondering. I saw your
I think
last
we got
comment
about
says 5.
I got 4 or 5
Okay.
spots left for teenagers. And
it says,
again,
how do they contact you?
so reach out. You can reach out to me in school if you're there. Instagram is probably the best for most people. One rental at a time is my handle. Just send me a DM there and let me know. And again, the child or the teenager will have the same ticket as the parent. So if you're VIP, they're VIP. If you're general, they're general. Yeah, again, I have 20 seats. If those last 4 or 5 go, reach out. We'll see what I can do. I can't do too many. Because I gotta feed everybody. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. I gotta feed everybody, get everybody coffee, and all of that comes with costs, especially in Vegas. It all comes with costs. So yeah, we got at least 4 left. I think I had another one this morning, so 4 left.
All right. Well, that's all I got this week.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Where can they find you?
Financial Firefighter, YouTube, Instagram, pretty much anywhere. So yeah, reach out to me.
There you go. Thanks, family.